Okay, so the ATP Finals draw has just been announced. We have some interesting matchups in the group stage. So we're going to go through every single matchup with every single other player in each group. Let's go over see who is actually in the groups, though, because it's been a pretty interesting split. Okay, so we've got the Nastase Group, and we've got the John Newcombe Group, which is a bit of a throwback to back in the 70s when these guys were top of the rankings. So the Nastase Group, you've got Jannik Sinner, world number 1. You've got number 4 in the world, Daniil Medvedev, and Taylor Fritz, the world number 5, and Alex De Minaur, the world number 7. So they are in the Nastase Group, in the Newcombe Group. You've got Zverev, the number 2. You've got Alcaraz, the number 3. Ruud, the number 6. And Andre Rublev, the number 8. So they are the groups. So let's go through each player and their matchups against everybody else. So starting with Jannik Sinner, he has a good record against Medvedev, 7-7, but even though it's even, he has won 7 of their last 8 matches, including a match that they played in Shanghai where he got the win there. So Sinner against Medvedev, Sinner would like that matchup. Sinner against Taylor Fritz, 2-1, including the US Open final this year. So again, positive matchup there for Sinner. And then against De Minaur, probably the best matchup out of anybody for Sinner was Demon, 7-0, including a win in Rotterdam this year. So Sinner's got to like that group with Medvedev, Fritz, and De Minaur having won all his last matches against those guys. Now, Medvedev, like I just said against Sinner, it's 7-7, but he has lost, he lost their last match, which was in Shanghai. Medvedev versus Fritz is 1-0. They've only played once. That was in Cincinnati in 2022. So a long time since they've matched up. And then against De Minaur, Medvedev has a 6-3 record, but he did lose their last match at the French Open this year. Medvedev did have blisters, so maybe there was a little bit of an excuse there for Medi, but still, against Demon, it's always been tough. Fritz, as I mentioned, against Sinner, he's got a 1-win, 2-loss record, including the final of the US Open this year. Against Medvedev, he's only played him once. He lost that match. That was in Cincy 2 years ago in 2022. And against De Minaur, Fritz's record is 3 wins, 5 losses, including a loss at the United Cup this year. So a little bit awkward for Taylor Fritz in this group. And then De Minaur, the number 7 in this group, the number 7 in the world, he will take on Sinner, who he has never beaten, 0-7, including a loss this year in Rotterdam. Against Medvedev, he has a 3-win, 6-loss record against, but he did win their last match at the French Open, as I mentioned. And against Fritz, he has got a 5-3 record against, including a win at the United Cup at the start of the year. So he would like the match against Fritz, maybe like the match against Medvedev, but Demon's going to have to win those because he's probably not going to beat Sinner. Over to the Newcombe Group, let's start with Zverev in his matchup. So him versus Alcaraz, he's actually got a 5-5 record against Alcaraz, including the match that they played at the French Open this year, of course losing that match in the final. So it's going to be interesting to see those guys play on an indoor hardcourt, especially with Zverev's form at the moment. Against Ruud, Zverev has got a 3-win, 2-loss record, including a win at the French Open as well. So he actually beat Ruud and Alcaraz back-to-back to make, so he actually beat Ruud to play Alcaraz in the final of the French this year. And then against Rublev, he has got a 6-win, 3-loss record, but they haven't played since this time last year when they played the ATP Finals, and Zverev got the win there. Alcaraz, like I just said against Zverev, he has got a 5-all record against him, including a win at the French Open. That was their last time they played. Against Ruud, Alcaraz has got a 4-0 record, but they haven't played for over a year. Last time they played, Beijing last year, with Alcaraz getting the win over there. And against Rublev, it's 1-1, but the last time they played, Rublev actually beat him in Madrid in, what was it, May or something like that. So I tell you, Alcaraz against Zverev and Alcaraz against Rublev, they're going to be pretty tough matchups for Alcaraz, and he's going to have to win one of those matches probably to progress if he can also beat Ruud. Ruud, who's probably, unfortunately, the least confident player in this whole ATP Finals based on his recent form. Against Zverev, his record is 2 wins, 3 losses, including that loss at the semifinals of the French this year. Against Alcaraz, it's 0-4. Like I said, they haven't played for over a year, but last time they played, it was Alcaraz in straight sets. And against Rublev, he has got a 2-win, 5-loss record, but also hasn't played against him for over a year. Lost on the clay court to Bastard midway through last year. So it's been a long time, and it was also on clay the last time they played, and he took a loss. Rublev, who might be maybe a little bit of a wild card in this group, he has got to play Zverev, 3-win, 6-loss record, but they haven't played for over a year. The last time they played, it was Zverev getting the win. Against Alcaraz, it's 1-1, but he did win the last match they played, which was at that Madrid Masters back in May. And then against Ruud, his record is 5 wins, 2 losses, but they haven't played for over a year, and the last time they played was on a clay court, and Rublev got the win. So there it is. They are the matchups, and it's going to be interesting to see some of those, maybe those 50-50 matches. I think Alcaraz, his group's a lot tougher than maybe we first thought, especially with playing Zverev. We all know Zverev's in great form right now, and Zverev has beaten Alcaraz this year on a hard court. And the Rublev match is going to be an interesting one with Alcaraz versus Rublev. I think that'd be really cool. Also, on the other side of things, I think Sinner's probably got the best out of the top 4, probably the best draw, as you'd expect. He's in great form as well. But let me know down in the comments below, who's going to win the ATP Finals? Is it going to be Sinner? I mean, Sinner's the obvious choice. He's been playing great lately. Do you think it's going to be someone else? Maybe you think Zverev can take the win after he just won in Paris. Do you think maybe Alcaraz can get it through? Maybe. Or maybe maybe Medvedev comes alive. What do you think is one of the bottom four guys? Maybe surprising this tournament, but there it is, ATP Finals. Starts on Sunday.